very good afternoon to all present here. We welcome our Honorable Principal and CEO, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, Keynote Speaker, Major Muhammad Ali Shah, Headmistress, Ms. Sindhu P. Nair, Heads of Sections, Mr. Faisal, Ms. Bindu Gopalakrishnan, Ms. Priya Sajid, Supervisors, Parents, Teachers and Students, to the investiture ceremony of our own English High School Sharjah, Boys Branch. We welcome you all to witness one of the most important ceremonies of the school year.
You all know, the year until now has not been the most welcoming, and hence it has been difficult to conduct the ceremony in its true splendor.
Prefectorial bow, by the left, forward, march!
Parazoites, we are a tenacious lot. If nature deems meeting in flesh impossible, we will use what media we have at our disposal as fruit of man's constant innovation and commence this ceremony over virtual media. The investiture is a ceremony as old as assigned leadership roles have been a part of human society. The word investiture comes from the past participle of the Latin word investare, which meant to clothe, hearkening to how cloaks or robes were given as a mark of leadership position. In a similar manner, today we give badges as a mark of the same.
The investiture ceremony is the official induction of the new incumbents of the Prefectorial Board to their various offices. The Student Prefectorial Board is selected by a committee consisting of the senior leadership team and the members of the student body after the most stringent scrutiny. The vice captains are elected by the student body according to the respective houses.
Election process is an enriching experience for both the nominees and the students casting their votes. This year too, in keeping with the spirit of innovation, students cast their vote remotely via Microsoft Forms. The Prefectorial Board plays an active role in the day-to-day administration of the school, thereby ensuring the involvement of students in decision making.
May I request all our viewers to kindly stand for the national anthem of the UAE, followed by the Indian national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please be seated. We shall now have Muhammad Muzakkar of class 12F to recite a verse from the Holy Quran. Thank you, Muzakkar.
May I request our Principal and CEO, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, to now lead us in prayer.
I think there was some technical glitch. I'll repeat the prayer. Apologize for the errors. Almighty God, teach us on this Investiture Day to remember you in all things, to serve you in all our work and in all our leisure. Teach us to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for reward. Give us the courage and determination to be helpful to others. Help us to do something for someone in need, to lend a helping hand to someone in distress, to greet one another with a smile, and above all, to love one another as you love us. Grant us wisdom and guard us from errors. Bless our school and use it in all things according to your will. All this we ask in your name. It's with great pleasure that I introduce, much before the initial official introduction, the keynote speaker this afternoon. They say life comes a full circle. And what does that mean? Life comes a full circle after 22 years. 22 years ago, we can visualize a scene at the famous Lawrence School, Lovedale. There was this boy, along with 51 other students, lining up for breakfast. And as I enter, I hear all of them wishing me good morning. When I say life comes a full circle, I mean 22 years later, it's my time, my turn to say, good afternoon, Major Muhammad Ali Shah. It's an honor and privilege for us to have you here as a keynote speaker for what we consider as the most important ceremony in our school. We will now proceed with a video of the Major and all his accomplishments before we invite him to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
In times as dark as these, when our own light stands to go out, we turn to a spark of another person for hope. Our keynote speaker for today, a graduate from the Lawrence School, Lovedale, batch of 98, is such a personality. Mr. Muhammad Ali Shah, an army major, actor, and motivational speaker. Mr. Muhammad is a man who believes in true spirit, having made his mark in the world under many illnesses. While being deployed as a lieutenant along the Jammu and Kashmir line of control, he was awarded a commendation card for being unmindful of his own personal safety and going beyond the call of duty. Mr. Shah has lent his talents to a number of prominent films. He is also an experienced public speaker and has employed platforms such as TEDx events to inspire his audience, often emphasizing the dire need to take risks in life in order to stand out. A man who recognizes the significance of devoting your life to what you love, he stands an example of a true leader, ready to give his all at the call of duty. Major Muhammad Ali Shah, we are honored to have you here with us today, and humbly request you to address the audience.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, our own English High School, for having me over. It is indeed an honor and a real pleasure to be amongst you all. I will narrate a small, firstly, I wasn't deserving of such a great introduction because the story that I will tell you right now, it's very contrary, and I'm sure many of you over here would be able to relate to this. This story goes back to a boy. Let me pause this because, yes. Now, the story of this boy who was not even a teenager, was very introverted, shy, underconfident, very unsure of himself, constantly living in self-doubts, who had recently failed in an entrance test of a very prestigious school. And he was very demoralized and upset. But then His morale came up because he got through even a better boarding school. He joins there. Now, this shy, timid, underconfident, introverted boy who had no friends in school, he was always outclassed. And he always asked himself, why is it that I don't have any friends? Why is it that I'm doing so badly? Not just in academics, overall. So one fine day, he decides to break the shackles and go up on stage. And he said, this is something I'm going to prove it. He's not even a teenager as yet. He goes on stage. Come here, come closer. I'll tell you a secret. Come closer, not like that. The girl who he had a crush on in school, while narrating, while speaking on stage, his eyes meet her. And now what happens? He forgets everything that he was to recite on stage, has a blackout on stage, freezes over there, looks at the audience, face turned pale and red, ears were hot, red hot, whole body was shivering, hands were shivering, had a piece of paper because in case he forgets his lines, he wasn't very confident, as I told you all. Just said thank you there and went and sat on the seat. After the competition got over, obviously everyone made fun of him. What the hell, yeah, what are you thinking? You thought you'll be a big James Bond? You forgot your lines, dude. Now, this boy had two options before him. First option, catch his head and cry. And say, I'm good for nothing. I failed miserably here as well. Or not wait for things to happen to him. Make things happen. Work on himself to such an extent that when he goes on the same stage, the same platform the very next year, he lifts a prize from there. You know, there are two kinds of people in this world, okay? One is the dreamers who dream of achieving things in life. They think big, they dream big. And the other type are the realistic ones who say, no, let's be realistic. This is what I can aim for and I will achieve it, and let's be realistic. And then they are the third type who convert the number one into number two. No, not what you're thinking, but the point number one to point number two. So they believe in converting that. Converting their dreams into reality, and we all can do that. That very night, when I forgot my lines, I couldn't sleep. I took my English textbook, went before a mirror. That little boy is me, I'm telling you. I told you that stories of me. I didn't sleep that night. I took my English textbook. I was in a boarding school, Lawrence School, Lovedale, where Mr. Srivalsan Murugan was my housemaster. I sat before the mirror with a pencil in my mouth and started reading the English lessons loudly. Whole night went, it was early morning now. We went for a PT run. Now see, there's a difference. If you read something over and over and over and over again, you tend to memorize it. It comes in your mind. There's a difference between speaking something, the way I'm speaking to you all, memorizing something, and reading something. Three things: reading, speaking, and memorizing. So I had almost memorized my English lessons. So the English teacher in class, the first lesson was the English class. Who will read? This shy, underconfident, timid, good-for-nothing idiot lifted his hand. Backbencher. He used to always hide. I hope the teacher doesn't know my name. But let me tell you, that was our hope as students. I hope the teacher doesn't know my name or remember my name. But he was mistaken because our teachers actually knew us better than our own mothers. What did I just say? Our teachers knew us better than our own mothers. Very difficult job to do, but they did that. That doesn't mean that our mothers knew us any less. No, 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 no. Our mothers knew us very well. The teachers knew us even better than them. Anyway, so now this backbencher, this good for nothing guy, lifted his hand right on top. Yes, yes, I will read. Now everyone is amazed and surprised. Now everyone turns around to look. Oh, this joker. Let's see what he'll read, yeah. High hopes. Now, since I had worked on it, I spent the entire night reading that thing and rereading it. So I read those lines, those lessons, backwards. I could rattle it out very fluently. Now, I had a lisp in school. Like, sir was fur. I would stammer, stutter, I would get stuck. And the reason behind that was because I didn't have the confidence. So anyway, I read that. You know what happened after that? Everyone clapped for me. Everyone clapped, including the ones who did not want to be my friends. In the tea break, we used to get 2 buns and a cup of tea, in a steel enamel mug, right? So the boys came to me, Ali, please take our share of bun. Come on, have one. You did very well, you deserve it. And all of a sudden, I had friends. Now, this same underconfident, timid boy was now blossoming and growing. The very next year, on the same stage, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what happened? Same elocution competition I once again took part. And I was determined that I will at least lift the 3rd prize, because it is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, right? There's no prize for 4th, 5th. So 3rd prize I will get. I was very sure, very confident, I had gone fully prepared, did very well, recited my lines. And when the result came, the 3rd prize goes to, and I was all set. Getting ready. I almost got up from my chair and all. Okay, now I will go and receive the prize with a lot of pride. And Mr. Srivalsan will feel very proud of me. All right. So I was about to get up from my chair and my name wasn't called. I was very disappointed. Anyway, there's a hope. The 2nd prize is going to be called right now. 3rd prize announced. The 2nd prize goes to. And now, I was all set. I was very sure, 100%. I mean, there's no question about it. And do you know what happened this time? Yes? Not the ones who are with me in this call. You're watching it on YouTube, right? Yes, I'm talking to you. All right. There's a nice dress you're wearing, by the way. So anyway, so I was all set. 2nd prize. My name wasn't called again the 2nd time. Now, 1st prize, there's no hope in hell for me, because obviously there was school champions, elocution competition, the champions were there. Now, obviously, the prize will go to them. So anyway, I said, forget it, maybe next year. There'll be the next time. As we've heard this one, there'll be the next time. So anyway, so I started daydreaming and started looking elsewhere now, thinking, what do I do after this? And all of a sudden, the 1st prize was announced. Now, obviously, no. I know you're thinking probably my name will come. No. And the 1st prize goes to Muhammad Ali Shah. And I was daydreaming. I was lost. I was like, not in my senses. Someone knocked at my neighbor knocked at me. Hey, dude, your name is being called. Go. Like, what? What, for what? 1st prize. What? And then I went and received the 1st prize. Ladies and gentlemen, after that, I won the best actor in school, best in elocution, best in debate, best in declamation. I mean, you name any elocution competition, I just had to be there. including the time when Mr. Srivatsan was to go for a fancy dress competition. I dressed him up like an Arab for that fancy dress competition. I even taught him a bit of Arabic, which I'm sure will hold him in good stead today. I told him, go there and say, first say, Alan Vasalan, Marhaba, Maasmuka, Ismi Srivatsan. Kaifa halik, ya Sheikh? Alhamdulillah. I taught him a few words in Arabic that time, which helped him. See, no learning goes for a waste. He had learned those lines not 22, some 25 years back. Today, like this morning when you called him up, first thing he asked, Kaifa halik? See? So, and you said Alhamdulillah. So those lines I take pride in saying I had taught my teacher 25 years back. Anyhow, after winning those competitions, ladies and gentlemen, I happened to become a TEDx speaker. Not just a TEDx speaker, I became international TEDx speaker. Well, not just an international TEDx speaker, you'll be happy to know that that same little boy who used to lisp, stammer, stutter, good for nothing idiot, joker, today holds a world record for having been invited by TEDx the maximum number of times in the world, not just in the country, not just in India, but in the world. So I congratulate you all prefects for taking over the reins. You have huge responsibility on your shoulders. So if I, being this young little boy who could do it, any one of you can do it. In 2014, when I came to Mumbai, I went for the Filmfare Award ceremony. There was a young filmmaker who was making a film for the first time in his life. He was nominated for a Filmfare Award. He wasn't expecting the award just the way I expected one time, I didn't expect at one time, right? Same way. So he had not prepared any speech. As he was climbing up the stage, he thought at that time what I should say. And since he had not prepared any speech, he spoke from the heart, impromptu, whatever came to his mind. And he took the mic, he said, "Thank you for this award. A day before we started shooting for this film, my father asked me, son, as a filmmaker, as a director, what do you do? You teach the actors how to act." No. That they all from theatre background, they know. Oh, you cast the actors, you give them the roles. No. The casting director is there for that. Oh, you handle the camera, the angles. No. The DOP is there, the director of photography is there. Oh, you teach them how to fight, flying kicks and all. No. The action director is there for that. Oh, so you give the clap, lights, camera, and action. No. The AD, assistant director one, is there for that. Then he started thinking, what is it that I do? We have people for different jobs. And today I'm getting an award. What did I actually do? And the answer I got when I climbed the steps of the stage. The answer was, all I did, ladies and gentlemen, was I just put up a very fine team together of experts. And that team did all the work. So everything else was in autopilot mode. But, when his father came on the sets to see, let me see what my son does. He said, okay, the scene was going very well, but I'll show my father just to prove a point what I can do. I'll say cut. Before he could say cut, the scene was going very well. The DOP, the director of photography, came and said cut. Flopped. Idea flopped. He couldn't even do. Okay, I will say action when the scene is ready. Before he could say action, the AD1 came and said action. So he couldn't really do anything. So when you put a team together as a leader, it really matters. Talking of leadership, one last thing I would like to share a small story with you all. I have been a soldier. I've safeguarded our national frontiers in the states of Jammu and Kashmir and Northeast. I put my life at stake on several occasions safeguarding our motherland. But let me tell you one lesson that I learned in the army is, ladies and gentlemen, ask a soldier this. Who better than the soldier first tell us, who's been in the line of fire, who's put his life at stake, that there is no glory in war. Now, it all looks very good. It all looks very well, only in movies. In real life, France and Germany were sworn enemies, were bitter enemies for decades. On the eve of the First World War, 24 December, they decided to have a friendly football match. Imagine, bitter enemies playing at no man's land, a football match. And the very next morning, they were back to firing at each other. The soldiers on the either side of the fence of the border are not personal enemies. They are just doing their duty in the line of duty, that's all. That reminds me of another incident I'll tell you of 28th June. And I promise you, I know it's become a bit long, but this is an incident I have to tell this to you, and then I'll stop. A real life incident, just like my mentor here, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan. There was a senior of mine from the army by the name of Captain Kangaroos. You probably, it'd be difficult to pronounce his name. So the men called him Nimbo Saab, affectionately, Like everyone has a nickname, no? Like you had named your teacher. I know your secret. I know your secret. You, yes, you. You're studying in 12th, right? You had given a nickname to your teacher, right? You're nodding your head. So similarly, the men, the Jawans used to call him Captain Nimbo Saab. Because Nemo are from Northeast, so Captain Kangaroos hail from Nagaland. On 28th, okay, now be alert. The game also we'll play, I'll narrate the story as well. You can type your message over there, right? On 28th June, post midnight, Captain Kangaroos was deployed in Kargil. We all know in 1999 a deadly battle took place between two countries, the neighboring in Kargil. So Captain Kangaroos was deployed there. He had just returned from a long-range patrol. In the army, we do not say 9 to 5 job. 5 o'clock, we break off we go home. No. You have to be alert 24/7. You can't say I'm taking my lunch break or tea break or my dinner break. No. So Captain Kangaroo was deployed at the line of control when he received orders that there is a post of the enemy which is creating havoc for the Indian army. Please go and destroy that. So in minus 19-degree temperature, very contrary to what you have in Sharjah, I know, minus 19-degree temperature in midst of snowfall, Captain Kangaroo started leading his men towards that hill. Minus 19-degree temperature, steep climb. The enemy was there, of course, but the greater enemy was the climate, the conditions, the lack of supplies, the lack of oxygen, the lack of rations, the lack of arms and ammunition, the lack of communication, lack of first aid. Imagine in those conditions. War, battle doesn't help anyone. The economy just goes back, God knows how many years behind. A mother loses a son, a brother loses a brother, a friend loses a friend. But at the end of the day, it is the politicians who will shake hands. So anyway, having said that, so they started their climb towards that hill. At night, what happens? Sound travels faster. Like, so remember you in geography class, you showed us once, you lifted a coconut and you were like, okay, now wherever there's water, let me see, and the coconut will rise. Similarly, there are different ways, like in geography and in, so at night, Sir taught us this to us in school, and that helped me in good stead in the army as well. At night, sound travels faster. So our men were climbing the mountain. 10 men, led by Captain Kangaroos, 11 of them. And the enemy got wind of the fact that some soldiers of the Indian army were climbing from this direction. The enemy was at an advantage, they were on top. So they opened fire towards where the Indian soldiers were coming from, indiscriminately. Because you have to protect yourself at the end of the day. If someone's coming to attack you, you have to fire back. You may not be personal enemies. So when they opened fire, indiscriminately, all over there were bullets being sprayed. Captain Kangaroos, who was grievously wounded in his stomach, got injured, got 3 bullets in his belly, turned around and told his men in Hindi, I have been shot. It is quite likely that I may not survive, but let me promise you one thing. If I have to go, I will not go alone. I will take the enemy along with me and you all continue the advance. That was his leadership. in minus 19-degree temperature, when his boots were slipping from the snow. He removed his boots and continued the climb. As he climbed up, his abdomen without boots, he came face to face with 3 enemy soldiers who were waiting on top of the hill to greet him. His eyes were meeting theirs, 3 of them who had surrounded him. He was carrying an RL, a rocket launcher, around his neck. It's so heavy, you need 2 people to lift that rocket launcher. One person loads, other person fires. He immediately, using his quick reflexes of mind, took out his commando knife and neutralized the enemy then and there. Thereafter, he crawled towards the enemy bunker and fired with his RL. Thar! Thar! And he destroyed the enemy bunker. But just then, a burst of enemy fire came and hit Captain Kangaroo right on his chest, who fell from the cliff. The same cliff which he had climbed with great difficulty. While our men climbed up, in the meantime, they saw the brave platoon commander fall from the cliff. So they went down. In the army, we live together, we die together, and we take an oath when we are commissioned, when we awarded the President's Commission, which says, the safety, honor, welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. So Captain Kangaroos lived up to that jetwood credo. They went down. They saw their brave platoon commander lying in the snow in a pool of blood, who was grievously wounded in his stomach, a burst of enemy fire on his chest, falling from a cliff. But yet, ladies and gentlemen, he had not died. His spinal cord, his back was broken, both the legs twisted. But he had not died. Why didn't he die? I will tell you. The men were carrying the national flag in their rucksack, that when they capture that peak, they will plant the national flag there. They took out the national flag, draped the body of their dead, brave platoon commander, who was dead actually. Because why I said he didn't die? Because he had become a martyr, and martyrs never die. They become legends and live in our hearts and minds forever. So they carried the body right on top of the hill, the same hill where they had climbed up. And it was so difficult, the terrain. They reached on top. They planted the national flag over there, placed the body of their dead platoon commander right next to the national flag, saluted it, and the men wept. The men cried. A brave, robust soldiers were crying, ladies and gentlemen. They cried not because they had won a battle or a hill, or they were afraid. No, they were not. Very brave men. They cried because they had lost their brave platoon commander, who they very affectionately called as Nemo Saab. They all cried and they all shouted in unison, "Ye jeet aapki hai, Nemo Saab! Ye hill aapka hai! Aaj se ye hill, Nemo Hill kehlayega!" And that is the story of Nemo Hill. You know, in J&K, there's a place called Kargil. I'm sure you would have heard. There's a very prominent feature over there. If ever there's a chance you can see this. That prominent feature is known as Nemo Hill. And that's the story of Nemo Hill. That's how it came into it got its name. But that's not all. 3 decades, 30 years of insurgency in Nagaland was forgotten on one single day, when Captain Kangaroo's body was brought back from Kargil to Nagaland. And the entire Nagaland united for the first time in the history of Nagaland. It's a very diverse culture in Nagaland. There's Ao, Angami, Chang, Jakizang, Sema, Lotha. There are about 48 tribes, and each tribe has a sub-tribe. And each sub-tribe is fighting among themselves and fighting against the Indian army there. So they all united, formed a human chain right from the Dimapur airport till Kohima. Of course, after washing their hands, of course. And they greeted Captain Kangaroo's body. And Captain Kangaroo was buried with full military honors, obviously, in Kohima. Very close by is a World War cemetery over there, with golden words written over there. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is no glory in war, is the point I was trying to make to you. It all may seem very well. Last thing, another senior of mine, Captain Vijayan Thapar, wrote a letter home just when the war was ending. And we lost so many young men over there. What did he write? He wrote, "My dearest Papa, Mummy, and Granny." This just before he went on his last attack, his final assault. The war was ending. Like, sir, we would write letters in school. Like, it was compulsory. You would monitor. Every week, you have to write a letter home. So he wrote this letter. He wrote, "My dearest Papa, Mummy, and Granny. By the time this letter reaches you all, I would be observing you all from the skies, enjoying the hospitality of Apsaras. I have no regrets. In fact, if I were to be born again as a human, I would choose to join the army and serve my nation. Whichever organ needs to be taken should be taken and donated. Please donate some money to the orphanage and continue giving ₹50 to Ruxana per month. And please go and meet Yogi Baba. If ever you get a chance, please come and see where the Indian Army fought for your tomorrow. Papa, you must be proud. Mama, please go and meet." The name is withheld. I loved her. "Mama ji, please forgive me for anything wrong that I may have done. Anyhow, it's about time I go and join my clan of Dirty Dozen. My assault party has 12 chaps. Live life king size. Yours, Robin, Jan." What I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is, ladies and gentlemen, here today, we live in a diverse culture. We have people from different nationalities, different cultures. We should all learn to live together in peace and harmony. Hatred, war, battle leads nowhere. Let me tell you one small thing. When I was posted in Nagaland, that time I saw insurgency from very close quarters where the guns were blaring, ladies and gentlemen. My gun blared too. Yes, it did. It really did. But instead of splattering blood with my gun, I chose to splatter their emotions instead by winning their hearts and minds through love, peace, compassion, and humanity. So today I take pride by standing before you all, speaking as a soldier of peace. And the same little boy who forgot his lines today became an international TEDx speaker. And when, last year, 2019, I got an invitation to speak at the Cambridge University. Now the lockdown was, that time the lockdown had not happened, like Batra. And I was shooting for a film called The Broken Window, which has been produced by Priyanka Chopra. So the timings were clashing, the dates were clashing. So I couldn't really go there. So they asked me to do a webinar for them. Now I had a very bad technical block in my mind that, webinar, what a seminar is I'd heard. I did not know what a webinar meant. So it's very simple. Zoom, Google Meet, Google Duo. I mean, it's very simple. Just come. We'll send you a link. Just click on that. I said, no, I can't. And I lost out on a golden chance on speaking at the Cambridge University. So now when the lockdown happened, and as a motivational speaker, when many of my talks started getting cancelled, it's the choice is ours, whether we convert an adversity into an opportunity or we sit and cry, like how I did when I was not even a teenager, right? So I downloaded these apps, Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx. The new Teams is a new app. I just learned it today, sometime back, when Faisal Bhai was very kind enough to teach me on this. Thank you, sir. Now, if we haven't learned a new skill in this lockdown, we cannot claim, we cannot say we didn't have time. We lack discipline. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on talking to you all, but today I'm giving back-to-back webinars all across the world. Look at this. You all in Sharjah, I'm here in Bombay. I'm talking to you all. So the choice is ours, how we look at things. It's all in the mind. I can go on speaking. I'm loving speaking to you, but I think I'll end over here because I know. But the lesson in leadership I try to bring to you is when something went right in Sumeru House, that's the house that we were in, Mr. Srivalsan always put us in front and said, things have gone well because of my boys. They did all the good work. I have no contribution to it, but whereas everything was his doing. And once I remember when things went wrong, He kept us aside. He protected us. He took the blame on himself. So 1st April, remember that April Fool's Day, the hockey stick wala thing, 1998 for April. And that time he protected us. He came forward. And that was, again, true leadership. Like Captain Kangaroos when he is not there anymore. The team is saying that you did all the work. So guys, you are prefects today. Your parents are very proud. You've made your students, your teachers very proud. There's no age for a teacher to learn or to teach. I am a teacher. I'm a visiting faculty at Subhash Ghai's film school called Whistling Woods International. But I tell my students, I'm not a teacher. I'm a facilitator. You can take a horse to the water. You can't make it drink. And more than what I teach you all, I learn from you all. All the best. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Take care. I think there seems to be a technical glitch. Where was?
I'm sorry, you were saying something, just up, but I must thank you on behalf of the entire school, everyone present here, that we enjoyed listening to you. We are motivated by you. Okay, we do hope to see you in flesh and blood in our campus sometime very soon. Take good care of yourself. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone here. God bless you, Alisha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Bye, sir. Take care. I have to leave. So sorry. Bye. Sign up to On the Web now. The boy who forgot his lines has to sign up for On the Web now. Oh my goodness. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.
May I call upon our Arabic supervisor, Ms. Samira, to speak a few words on behalf of the senior management team.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. تحية طيبة وبعد. لا يصل الناس إلى الحديقة النجاح دون أن يمروا بمحطات التعب والفشل واليأس. وصاحب الإرادة القوية لا يطيل الوقوف في هذه المحطات. وتماشيا مع رؤية مدرستنا الثانوية الإنجليزية فرع البنين في عامها 2020 وبعد، اليوم تزدان الزهور رونقا بالعلم وتفوح بأريج العرفان والفضل. اليوم نودع فيه التعب والسعي ونحصل على ثمار وكنوز الجد والمثابرة. اليوم كل شيء يحتفل بنا، القوافي والأشعار والكلمات والمعاني والطبيعة والخمائل تشع فرحا وتهدينا عبيرها لتسطر لنا أروع أنواع السعادة والمسرة وتبارك لباب قادة المستقبل. ومن هنا، من هذا الصرخ التعليمي الشامخ، تبدأ الخطوة الأولى لنا نحو الحياة والعلم، نحو العمل والنجاح معا. سنتوج 115 قائدا يقودون مهامهم بكل نشاط وحرص من أجل تحسين الهيكل المدرسي. ونحن نؤمن بأن تكليف طلابنا وفلذات أكبادنا بهذه المسؤوليات لتصبح مدرستنا شعاع الأمل والمستقبل الناضج بالعلم والعمل. ودائما شعار فريق مدرستنا بأننا نحول إلى قادة المستقبل وفرسان الغد. كل الشكر وتقدير لفريق إدارة مدرستنا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Great leaders don't set out to be leaders. They set out to make a difference. And great indeed are the men who are chosen to lead others and light the lives of those around them.
The frontrunners, chosen to lead at our own English High School Sharjah Boys Branch, are armed with the qualities of integrity, dedication of purpose, selflessness, knowledge, skill with vision, and a sense of direction, with enthusiasm and passion, and with an impressive record of accomplishments.
This will be their finest hour, when in moments of solemnity, they will pledge themselves to their duties and bear themselves with dignity and comportment.
The investiture ceremony will now commence. The office bearers for the year 2020-2021 will now be introduced and be administered the oath of office.
Ayan Kazi, with his 5-year experience within the Prefectorial Board and current post as Vice President of GEM Student Leadership Council, he is no stranger to leadership roles and governing. In addition to the aforementioned experience, he is also multifaceted, having shown impeccable skills in debating, dancing, and sports. He is a part of the inter-school basketball team. He shows similar excellence in cricket and shot put and is part of the inter-house teams. His literary skills achieved him the second place paper in the Our Own Indian School Mock United Nations.
May I also request our Honorable Principal to administer the oath of office to the Assistant Head Boy, Harshal Bini. May I also request our Honorable Principal to administer the oath of office to the Assistant Head Boy, Harshal Bini.
I
Ayan Shanawaz Kazi,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of head boy
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and fair to my colleagues and juniors,
just and fair to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge
I further pledge
that in all matters affecting work,
that in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
for
the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interest of others
before my own.
before my own.
And above all,
And above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Ayan Shanawaz Kazi, with the rank of head boy and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken. I
Harshal Bini,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of assistant head boy
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my abilities.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports and general demeanor, I shall work for the honor of the school, and that I shall place the interests of others before my own. And above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Harshal Bini, with the rank of Assistant Head Boy and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
Farzeen Ajmal Khan. A phenomenal orator, Farzeen has represented the school in many debate competitions. His mellifluous voice reignited the spirit of Alexander the Great himself in the annual school concert Alexander of Macedonia, which he also directed. His voice has also graced various events held by the Student Council and the school. In his previous role as Secretary of the Student Council, he expertly streamlined the Council's annual activities. He is accustomed to leadership positions and has an approachable and humble nature. May I request our headmistress, Ms. Sindhu P. Nair, to administer the oath of office to the President, Student Council, Farzeen Ajmal Khan.
I
Farzeen Ajmal Khan,
do hereby solemnly pledge
hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of President, Student Council
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my abilities.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports and general demeanor,
sports and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before my own,
before my own.
and above all,
And above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Farzeen Ajmal Khan, with the rank of President, Student Council, and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I request Head of Section, Senior School, Mr. Faisal, to administer the oath of office to the Secretary Student Council, Abhinav Unnikrishnan.
I
Abhinav
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of Secretary Student Council
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interest of others
the interest of others
before my own.
before my own.
And above all,
And above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Abhinav Unnikrishnan, with the rank of Secretary, Student Council, and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
Sanjeev Kanappan, a beautiful singer, a creative artist, an energetic multisport athlete, and above all, a confident leader. Sanjeev Kanappan of Class 12C has proven that he will excel in everything he sets out to do. He has proudly represented the school in numerous inter-school competitions over the years and was also a member of our nationals basketball team in its initial stages. He is a product of sheer hard work and determination, and in his tenure as sports captain, he aims to cultivate more athletes that enjoy the thrill of the game like he does. May I request Ms. Bindu Gopalakrishnan, Head of Section, Middle School, to administer the oath of office to the sports captain Sanjeev Kanappan.
I
Sanjeev Kanappan,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of sports captain
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before my own.
before my own.
And above all,
And above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Sanjeev Kanappan, with the rank of sports captain and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Ms. Priya Sajit, Head of Section, Primary and Kindergarten, to administer the oath of office to the Assistant Sports Captain, Abel Markle.
I
Abel Markle,
do hereby solemnly pledge that I will carry out the duties of
Assistant Sports Captain
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place the interests of others before my own, and above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Abel Markle, with the rank of Assistant Sports Captain and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, Ms. Priya.
We now move on to the oath-taking ceremony of the captains and vice captains of the four houses.
Jupiterians are spontaneous and impulsive, and they apply their energies wholeheartedly in all their endeavors. They have always strived to live up to the motto of their house, labor with constancy.
Hassan Faraz, the new captain for Jupiter House, is unable to attend this ceremony, and thus he will be taking the oath at a later point in time.
Roshan Sherry will be the vice captain.
May I request Mr. Whippen, supervisor of classes 11 and 12, to administer the oath of office to the vice captain, Roshan Sherry.
I,
Roshan Sherry,
do hereby solemnly pledge that I will carry out the duties of
vice captain of Jupiter House
faithfully, truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my abilities.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before my own,
before my own.
and above all,
And above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Roshan Sherry, with the rank of Vice Captain, Jupiter House, and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir. May I request Mr. Abdel Fattah to administer the oath of office to the prefects?
We,
the prefects of Jupiter House,
do hereby solemnly pledge
pledge
that we will carry out
that we will carry out
the duties of
the duties of prefects
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our ability.
We shall be obedient
We shall be obedient
and respectful to our superiors,
and respectful to superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to our colleagues and juniors,
to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge that
that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
we shall work
we shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that we shall place
and that we shall place
interests of others
the interests of others
before our own,
before our own,
and above all,
and above all,
we shall always strive
we shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you all with the rank of prefects and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
The prefects for Jupiter House are Muhammad Umair of 6F, Rudra Kumar Satish Kumar of 6D, Muhammad Ayan of 7C, Jaideep Anandan of 7E, Krish Chengapan of 8A, Adil Nizar of 8B, Shawez Muhammad of 8B, Muhammad Hisham Nishi of 8D, Evan Chandi John of 9F, Fudel Ahmed of 9E, Anirudh Menon of 9I, Piyush Das of 9A, Amog Ambujakshan of 10D, Adarsh Ramakrishnan of 10A, Shubhankar Ghosh of 11B, Rishit Cherulur of 11A, and Ataldev Arun of 12F.
Martians are all-rounders in every field. Their sharp red espouses dignity and courage of the highest order that is instilled in every one of its prefects. They fervently believe in the motto of their house, "For honor we strive." Akil Naushad, an innovative as well as a truly gifted individual. Akil Naushad of class 12C has always portrayed his dynamic and zestful personality. His passion has successfully led the school to greater heights. He has proudly represented the school in innumerable events, both as a leader as well as a true sportsman. As fruit of his hard work and diligence, he became the captain of the under-17 football team in the academic year of 2019-2020. He is exceptionally courageous and skillful and has proved it by leading his house to victory in the inter-house tournaments, along with bringing in trophies from inter-school events.
Work and diligence.
Aaron Matthew will be the vice captain. May I request Miss Millie Thomas, supervisor of grade 9 and 10, to administer the oath of office to the captain and vice captain.
Akil Naushad,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of Captain Mars House
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my abilities.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
for
the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before my own,
and
above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Akhil Naushad, with the rank of Captain Mars House and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken. I,
Aaron Matthew Joseph,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of Vice Captain Mars House
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before my own,
before my own,
and above all, I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Aaron Matthew Joseph, with the rank of Vice Captain Mars House and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I request Ms. Hepzibah Thomas to administer the oath of office to the prefects.
We,
Prefects of Mass House,
do hereby solemnly pledge
hereby solemnly pledge
that we will carry out the duties of
that we will carry out the duties of prefects
faithfully, truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our ability.
We shall be obedient
We shall be obedient
and respectful to our superiors,
and respectful to our superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to our colleagues and juniors,
to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge
We further pledge
that in all matters affecting work,
that in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
we shall work
we shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that we shall place
and that we shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before our own,
before our own,
and above all,
and above all,
we shall always strive
we shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you all with the rank of prefects and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am. The prefects from Mass House are Drupad Ranjit of Class 6B, Joseph Tony of 6E, Ayan Faisal of 7E, Aaron George of 7C, Huzaifa Ahmed of 8F, Rohan Shaji of 8C, Mohit Krishna of 8A, Mohammad Nehan of 8D, Mohammad Adib of 9C, Mohammad Ashik of 9H, Samuel Gregg from 9G, Milek Anil Kumar from 9F, Jaydeep Bijoy from 10H, Arsh Chishti from 10E, Prem Shah of 11D, Ralph Samuel of 11D, Furqan Muhammad of 12A.
Neptunians are imaginative and creative, and they apply their energies with endurance to excel in all their ventures. Their aim is to live up to the motto of their house, truth will triumph.
Aditya Radhakrishnan, a passionate debater, a voracious reader, and above all, an inspiring leader. Aditya Radhakrishnan Nair of Class 12D has in his term as Vice Captain stood by his motto of Neptune forever, giving his all and more for the green shirt he so proudly wears. An affable and humble man, he stands as a paragon of leadership by example and has worked tirelessly to pave the path to glory for Neptune House, and in his vein as captain hopes to lead his fellow Neptunians down that path.
Hamdan Rashid will be the vice captain. May I request Mr. Shane Aliu to administer the oath of office to the captain and vice captain.
I,
Aditya Radhakrishnan Nair,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
Captain Neptune House
faithfully, truthfully, and to the best of my ability. I shall be obedient and respectful to my superiors, just and tolerant to my colleagues and juniors, and loyal to them all. I further pledge that in all matters affecting work, sports and general demeanor, I shall work for the honor of the school, and that I shall place the interests of others before my own. And above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Aditya Radhakrishnan Nair, with the rank of Captain Neptune House and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken. I,
Hamdan Rashid,
do hereby solemnly pledge that I will carry out the duties of
Vice Captain Neptune House
faithfully, truthfully, and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge
I further pledge
that in all matters affecting work,
that in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place the interests of others before my own. And above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Hamdan Rashid, with the rank of Vice Captain, Neptune House, and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
May I request Mr. Gilbert to administer the oath of office to the prefects?
We,
the Prefects of Neptune House,
do hereby solemnly pledge
solemnly pledge
that we will carry out the duty of
Prefects
faithfully, truthfully, and to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our ability.
We shall be obedient
to
to our superior,
and respectful to our superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to our colleagues and juniors,
to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge that
that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor, we shall work for the honor of the school, and that we shall place the interests of others before our own, and above all, and always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you all with the rank of prefects and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
The prefects for Neptune House are Rahul Urni of 6C, Muhammad Sami of 6G, Avinash Mawanji of 7A, Swamidas Nair of 7I, Ashwin Manoj of 8B, Joel Sunil of 8A, Niranjan Srinivasan of 8B, Hisham Zubair Sheikh of 8A, Alfaz Anzar of 9H, Gaurav Gopikrishna of 9F, Muhammad Zafar of 9H, Mazen Nasir of 9A, Ethan Bonnie Thomas of 10G, Hamza Ali Asgar Sanjeliwala of 10G, and Kairav Vaibhav Desai of 11B. And the senior prefects for Neptune House are Muhammad Alam Jitekar of 11D and Varun Krishna of 12F.
Saturnians are full of fire and fervor, and they apply their energies with unmatched passion in all that they pursue. The motto of their house is to greater heights, and they have left no stone unturned to take their yellow flag there. Joel Gigi is our own multi-talented virtuoso. He's a skillful artist, musician, actor, photographer, filmmaker, writer, orator, a scientific thinker, and most importantly, an inspiring leader who has represented and brought pride to the school and the UAE on various national and international stages. He's a proud Saturnian who works hard to inspire and bring the best out of the students of our school. He truly believes that the key to unlocking our maximum potential lies within each and every one of us, and he's truly grateful that our own voice has played a huge role in helping him find his key and making him who he is today.
Vishwesh Morkoikar will take over as the vice captain. May I request Miss Sophie Matthews to administer the oath of office to the captain and vice captain.
I,
Joel Gigi,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of Captain Satin House
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work
I shall work
for the honor of the school,
for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interest of others
the interests of others
before my own, and above all, I shall always strive to preserve a sense of humor and be gentle. I do hereby invest you, Joel Gigi, with the rank of Captain Satin House and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken. I
Vishwesh Paresh Murkoikar,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that I will carry out the duties of
that I will carry out the duties of Vice Captain Satin House
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
I shall be obedient
I shall be obedient
and respectful to my superiors,
and respectful to my superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to my colleagues and juniors,
to my colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
I further pledge that
I further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
I shall work for the honor of the school,
I shall work for the honor of the school,
and that I shall place
and that I shall place
the interest of others
the interest of others
before my own,
before my own,
and above all,
and above all,
I shall always strive
I shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you, Vishwesh Paresh Murkoikar, with the rank of Vice Captain Satin House and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I request Mr. Joy to administer the oath of office to the prefects.
We,
The Prefects of Satin House,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that we will carry out the duties of
that we will carry out the duties of
prefects
prefects
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our ability.
We shall be obedient
We shall be obedient
and respectful to our superiors,
and respectful to our superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to our colleagues and juniors,
to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge that
We further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports, and general demeanor,
sports, and general demeanor,
we shall work for the honor of the school,
we shall work for the honor of the school,
and that we shall place
and that we shall place
the interest of others
the interest of others
before our own,
before our own,
and above all,
and above all,
we shall always strive
we shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you all with the rank of prefects and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, sir.
The prefects for Satin House are Harit Mohammed of 6G, Gaurav Jayaprakash of 6F, Samford Sebin of 7A, Syed Rayhan Ali of 7A, Muhammad Fariduddin Puli of 8A, Johan Joshua of 8F, Albin Kulatur of 8G, Abhijit Madhavankutti of 8C, Ajitesh Kallepalli of 9F. Shreyas Krishnamurthy of 9A, Muhammad Uzair Haji of 9B, Prithvi Mohanasundaram of 9E, Ishan Jain of 10D, Ahmed Adnan Ghulam Hasnan of 10A, Sean Ninan Shaju of 11B, Naisak Inchi Khalil Abraham of 12A, and Nayan Shinoy of 11A. We shall now proceed with the investing of the Student Council members.
We,
the members of the Student Council,
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that we will carry out the duties of
that we will carry out the duties of
the Student Council
the Student Council
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
and
to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our abilities.
We shall be obedient
We shall be obedient
and respectful to our superiors,
and respectful to our superiors,
just and tolerant to our colleagues and juniors,
just and tolerant to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge that
We further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in all matters affecting work,
sports and general demeanor,
sports and general demeanor,
we shall work
we shall work
for the honor of the school
for the honor of the school,
and that we shall place
and that we shall place
the interests of others
the interest of others
before our own,
before our own,
and above all,
and above all,
always strive
we shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you all with the rank of members of Student Council and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Ms. Jayashri, Staff Advisor to the Student Council, to administer the oath.
We,
The members of Student Council
do hereby solemnly pledge
do hereby solemnly pledge
that we will carry out the duties of
that we will carry out the duties of
the Student Council
the Student Council
faithfully,
faithfully,
truthfully,
truthfully,
and to the best of our ability.
and to the best of our ability.
We shall be obedient
We shall be obedient
and respectful to our superiors,
and respectful to our superiors,
just and tolerant
just and tolerant
to our colleagues and juniors,
to our colleagues and juniors,
and loyal to them all.
and loyal to them all.
We further pledge that
We further pledge that
in all matters affecting work,
in
in
all
all
matters
matters affecting work,
affecting work,
sports and general demeanor,
sports and
sports and
general
general
demeanor,
demeanor,
we shall work
we
we
shall
shall work
work
for the honor of the school
for the honor of the school
and that we shall place
and that we shall place
the interests of others
the interests of others
before our own
before our own,
and above all,
and above all,
we shall always strive
we shall always strive
to preserve a sense of humor
to preserve
a sense of humor
and be gentle.
and be gentle.
I do hereby invest you all with the rank of members of Student Council and charge you to honor the pledge you have just taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
The council members are Prasandeep Jauhar of 6D, Mithil Pramod of 7G, Juan Matthew of 8B, Arjun Bomma of 9A, Tarun Manoj Rawat of 9B, Muhammad Taha Ahmed of 10B, Naresh Subramanian of 9C, Sumed Nitin of 9D, Madhavan Dinesh of 9E, Noel Anthony Litson of 9F, Bhavdeep Singh from 9G, Muhammad Nadu Paramat of 9H, Muhammad Wahib of 9I, Khush Jatin Sheth of 9J, Gaurav Sudesh Kumar of 10A, Prakhar Patni of 10C. Azhar Ahmed of 10D, Rishitej Reddy of 10E, Sai Aditya Krishna of 10F, Rayan Joseph George of 10G, Anup P. Tayal of 10H, Sainath Ramachandra Nair of 11A, Akar Mathur of 11B, Joy Das of 11C. From 11E, we have Justin Richards Johnson, Taha Shabir Hussain from 11F, and Aranya Nandi from 11G. The council members from grade 12 are Shreyas Narayan Sridhar from 12B, Abdur Rauf from 12C, Karthik Suresh from 12D, Jovel Sean of 12E, Gideon Pishardi from 12F, and Aryan Sunil Parikal of 12G.
We have just been witness to a splendid ceremony. It is indeed a proud day for many of us as we watch these young leaders take on their mantle of responsibility.
It is befitting that at this juncture, the head of the institution addresses the gathering. Therefore, I request our principal and CEO, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, to address the audience.
Good evening once again. This is your principal with you, back after the investiture ceremony is over. And it's my turn to speak. I've been given a cue by all the student leaders that I can start speaking, and I should start by saying what a fantastic job our student leaders have done. I can't even begin to think or thank all these wonderful guys who worked for the past 48 hours non-stop with Mr. Faisal, with Ms. Millie, and with my senior leadership team. Thank you, guys. To say that you rock would be the understatement of the century. But thank you. You guys have literally stolen the day. And you guys spell thunder. Thank you so much. I am certain that all of you listened to Muhammad Ali Shah, major, theater personality, TED speaker, motivational speaker, defense expert, a guy that's wearing so many hats. And to think of him when he was in school was a very different proposition. But he never gave up on himself. And that is the bottom line. Never give up on yourself. I have a very favorite statement, which I will quote at this point in time. And it goes like this. We will never realize our potential if we always live within the boundaries of what we fear. I repeat that. We will never realize our potential if we always live within the boundaries of what we fear. I have said so many times that fear is the worst possible word in the dictionary that I know of. And I do not want anyone who is passing through the portals of our own Sharjah boys. I don't want any of our Ubites to even acknowledge this word. Get out of fear. And then you will know that every possible door in terms of opportunities open up for you. I want every one of you to be unflagging, undistracted, and unswayed. You guys are not leaves that will be tossed and turned by an ordinary breeze, nor the fiercest of storm. I have frequently quoted this. The devil whispered in my ears, the storm is coming. And I looked at the devil and I said, I am the storm. I want you guys to be that kind of leader where you will define what the storm is. You will define its intensity. You will define its defiance. I am sure the school will equip you with all of those qualities that are required for you to face any storm in the world. I want to leave you guys with another statement. And that is, you want to leave an impression on anyone, and most critically on your own self. You got to stay true. If you stay true to yourself, you will leave an impression. Leaders are ones that leave an impression, an everlasting impression. Cliched as it may sound, it talks about leaving footprints on sands of time. Your footprints will be left there, whether you like it or not, if you stay true. So, get out of the confines of fear. Be unflagging, be undistracted, and be unswayed. And stay true. You will leave an impression. I leave you with those thoughts. Once again, thank you so much for all the efforts. Today, I see a school which is truly empowered, fueled, and strengthened and driven by students. Congratulations to all of you guys who are office bearers, and to a large number of you who have worked behind the scenes and who have said, I don't need a position in order to be a leader. I just need to be passionate. I know several of you who have worked behind the scenes, and I will be acknowledging them very soon. These are very difficult times, but you guys have shown that no times are difficult for Ubites. Thank you. Godspeed, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, everyone here, parents, thank you for being here. It's been a fantastic afternoon. Over to the organizers. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan Kazi, the head boy, will now convey his message.
Chasing and living your dream life is greater than mere existence. Respected Principal and CEO, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, Headmistress, Ms. Sindhu P. Nair, Heads of Sections, Mr. Faisal, Ms. Bindu, Ms. Priya, Supervisors, Teachers, Parents, Alumnus, and finally, but most importantly, my team of fellow leaders. Good evening. A vague adamancy at the age of 12 to become the head boy of the school in my final year. A fair share of difficulties and tears driven by failure. Lots of prayer and support, and an equivalent, if not greater effort and will to achieve the goal set in a child's mind, all packed into one dream and now a living reality. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ayan Shanawaz Kazi, and it gives me immense pleasure, and more so, pride and honor to address the OB fraternity as the head boy of the Institute. I too was once among those who didn't make it to the Prefectorial board, and then, like the many first-time leaders, to be selected in the 8th grade. I experienced leadership like many of you, and still live those days while drawing inspiration from your actions. This reality was only a wish 6 years ago, with no knowledge or clear direction, but the dream to live this very day took sharper shape, day by day, and with guidance and simply the urge to keep chasing that one goal. Smaller goals and steps formed, and finally, an ordinary Ayan Kazi became head boy Ayan Shanawaz Kazi. The tag of leadership, and especially tags like the head boy, office bearers, and house captains, may seem built of bigger dreams, ambitious dreamers, and greater effort-driven minds. But all of these dreams were once mere thoughts that were blessed with wings of will to dream and achieve, making us who we are today. Having led a life in your shoes is what built the person you are hearing now. I am the same notorious kid whose primary head boy application was turned down. Someone who ran in the corridors of our old campus, hurt himself on the court and field, succeeded in events, missed out on opportunities, and achieved multiple laurels alongside many more participation certificates. All of the school life led just like any other student, but with one difference. One constant dream to lead the school and many more young minds like mine, to strive for honor with consistent labor and effort to attain greater heights. All of it triumphed with the truth. When you convert a positive tendency into a systematic habit, it's bound to modify your lifestyle and approach towards things. Setting small goals and achieving those forms the foundation of larger endeavors and greater success. When you make it a habit to set a target and keep going for it, then no target or dream is too ambitious or unachievable. So dream to succeed and remember to dream even bigger when you miss out, because your next dream chase will only bring greater success in the form of your desired reality. Having expressed the key element to my supposed success story, besides all dreams, effort, and prayers, it goes without a doubt that I owe a huge thanks to tons of people for every step of my journey. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude towards the senior management team of the school for giving me this opportunity to hold the post of head boy and realize my dreams. I'd like to thank my entire batch, my seniors, co-leaders, as well as the alumnus with whom I had the opportunity to interact and work under their leadership, which has been my source of learning over the years of my service in the Prefectorial Board. I would also like to express my gratitude to the junior members of the Prefectorial Board for their inquisitive approach towards leadership. Their inquisitiveness and our school's vision of approachability imbibed in my leadership has been the bridge between my experience and their new mindsets, thus being a form of true inspiration to improve with every passing day of work during my tenure as the assistant head boy. I'd like to thank all my teachers and my parents for their infinite support over the years, even after all the days of bunking and missing classes, which was completely for work purpose. And it's this support and trust from the OOB fraternity that has played a major role in terms of shaping me as a leader and a person. On the note of leadership, it's only befitting that I share my understanding of leadership, which goes as such. Aiming for a better you is the standard for redefining new. You could set 100 targets, both realistic and overambitious. Succeed and celebrate over them, or fail and reflect with your own eyes. But true growth is when you compete with the person who you look at every morning in the mirror, the one who challenges every positive attempt and effort of yours, the you holding you back. Every aspect of life, change, development, success, failure, positivity, negativity, is a notion and outcome of your approach. And with an improving you contribute to a greater impact and change around you. While self-reflection is key to self-improvement, it's essential that a leader not only develops himself, but also propagates his essence of growth and hence leads through igniting leadership. To lead through igniting leadership is a far greater approach than the convention of merely setting an example to be followed. Igniting leadership is to help those with and without power and stake to realize the fact that they hold greater potential. To create a path for others to lead is the basic approach of leadership. But to create leaders with diverse mindsets who tread on their own paths is the new fiber work towards integrating leadership, modernity, and success. And this very mindset has been the breakthrough difference in my approach over the years in ensuring that I improve in terms of my leadership. All these quotes are certainly by no big shot and only written by myself. However, I hope that the past few minutes have a long-lasting impression on your minds, worth spreading along the essence of leading through igniting leadership. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe and lead kindly light.
Thank you, Ayan. Sanjeev Kannappan, the sports captain, will now address us.
If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. Honorable Chief Guest Major Muhammad Ali Shah, respected Principal and CEO Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, Headmistress Ms. Sindhu P. Nair, heads of sections, supervisors, teachers, parents, and badge holders, a very good evening. 16th April 2019, that was when I was appointed as the assistant sports captain of OOB. The thought of filling the shoes of all the leaders who once held this post was daunting. Each and every one of them had left a lasting impression on the school, and I was expected to do the same. A task made harder by the fact that we were in a new campus, a new atmosphere. I believe I can confidently say that I carried out my tasks successfully, but I didn't do it alone. The senior office bearers, Shravan, Aryan, and Asan, Ayan, Farzeen, the captains and the vice captains, they were my team. Our team effort was what made us successful. This is a lesson that I've carried out from the sports field to all aspects of my life. It took me 5 years of training with the basketball team to realize that hard work alone does not culminate into success. You need teamwork as well. A great example of this is when our under-17 basketball team became the CBSE Clusters champions for the first time in our school's history. As a result, we played in the CBSE Nationals as well. This achievement took a great amount of hard work and determination from each individual player, but the work we did as a team was what delivered us success. Another thing I learned was every team needs a leader to guide them. The basketball team was guided by Joe Paul sir, who also personally guided me in becoming a better player, a leader, and a person. The senior student leaders were guided by the SMT and the physical education department, which was guided by Vijay sir. I was extremely fortunate to work with Vijay sir and the physical education department for various events. Let me end with what Kobe Bryant once said, and I associate myself with that statement. As I sit here now, when I take off my shoe and I look down at my scar, I see beauty in it. I see all the hard work, all the sacrifices. I see the journey that it took to get back to this point of being healthy. And I see beauty in that struggle. That's what makes it beautiful. Thank you and have a great evening. Stay safe.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
To propose the vote of thanks, I would like to call upon Fazeen Ajmal Khan, President of the Student Council.
Honorable Chief Guest Major Muhammad Ali Shah, respected Principal and CEO Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, Headmistress Ms. Sindhu P. Nair, Heads of Sections Mr. Faisal, Ms. Bindu and Ms. Priya, Supervisors, teachers, parents, badge holders, and the alumni watching. A common theme to all our lives these past few months is that we're slowly starting to be a bit more grateful for the things we had last year. For when we didn't have to press an unmute button on our laptops and hope that Teams obeys our command and lets us speak. Back when hanging out with our friends didn't entail joining a room on Zoom. Back when the only 40-minute timer we dreaded was when zero period was cancelled and every period was extended by 5 minutes. Remember that? The point is, quarantine has seriously affected our way of life and turned the nuances of our daily routine on its head, but there is a lot for us to be grateful for. Our school was one of the first to implement an e-learning platform, with our faculty working behind this single vision of ensuring that education is not compromised regardless of what happens. We have it better than thousands of children worldwide. We have uninterrupted classes, events such as the election process, and an investiture ceremony run entirely on a virtual platform, proving that our teachers are doing everything in their power to ensure that as students, We are provided with every semblance of life before lockdown. Does that stop us from complaining? No. But does that stop me from complaining? No, and neither does it stop me from compiling a list of complaints I have with this whole situation. Number one, Ludo King. After the first 5 consecutive losses on Ludo King, the game quickly becomes the worst game you've ever played. I'm not saying I hate the game, I'm saying there could be better alternatives out there if you're looking for an app that frustrates you beyond reason. I hate the game, it doesn't let me win. Number 2, a number of my friends think that the best way to maintain a good hairstyle during this period is to remove all hair. That's not the solution, guys. Number 3, I don't have a number 3. I run out of time. The point is, over the past year, I've given so many votes of thanks at different events in school that I've almost memorized the format. Respected Principal and CEO, Mr. Walson Morgan, Headmistress Ms. Induction Nair, and so on and so forth. But today, I want my vote of thanks to be an expression of gratitude for a lot more than just today's event. Today, I wish to thank every individual whose presence in this institution is a blessing to us, the students. I thank the chief guest for honoring us with his presence and taking time off his busy schedule for enlightening us with his kind words. Our principal, Mr. Shivalsan Morgan, plants the seed of thought that blossoms into the tree of ideas that we present, and I will always be grateful to him for providing us with the resolve and resources required to truly be leaders capable of inducing change. So thank you for believing in us to make the right decisions, and I hope we've all made you proud. I'm addressing sir, but I'm talking to a laptop. This feels very weird. If Mr. Shivalsan plants the tree of ideas, Headmistress Ms. Sindhupi Nair helps us tend to it, being a constant pillar of support in all our initiatives and ensuring that we think about every... Sorry, look about bad timing. That was my sister's friend. If Mr. Shivalsan plants the tree of ideas, Headmistress Ms. Sindhupi Nair helps us tend to it, being a constant pillar of support in all our initiatives and ensuring that we think about every obstacle we may face before we roll out on an idea. From Ms. Sindhu, I've learned the importance of foresight and the significance of thinking twice before making a move, and for this, I'm grateful. I've now run out of tree metaphors to use. In my defense on computer science, I don't know a lot about them. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event was not an easy one to organize. The fact that this is the first such virtual ceremony held in our school meant that we had to get over the obstacle of not having a pre-existing plan of action in conducting events such as these, a hurdle that Mr. Faisal Kandi, head of senior school, took completely in stride while taking the lead. Mr. Faisal and Ms. Millie worked in close association with the student organizers for hours on end, double-checking and perfecting every part of the process. It wouldn't be incorrect to say that I've gotten more texts from Mr. Faisal in these past few days than I have from my friends. From Mr. Faisal, I learned the importance of resourcefulness and distribution of tasks. It is a monumental chore to find students best suited for a task from the very talented pool we have in our school, but Sir has always pulled through and chosen the very best in their fields, and I think the success of today's event is a note to that. Choosing the right persons for a job is very important. I learned this lesson when I tried to cut my own hair last week, and for unrelated reasons, I will not be showing the right side of my face during this speech. Furkan Muhammad, Ashay, Rohinder, and Anuj, the IT team, were responsible for everything from creation of the presentations to compiling the audio files and setting up the live stream. And it's remarkable that they did so without any previous experience of the same, overcoming the difficulty of collaboration solely over the internet. Amit, Rahul, and Ramiz were charged with drafting and scripting the structure of the event, and they also lent their voices as compeers. Ms. Millie Thomas's expert input and guidance were invaluable to this task. I'd also like to thank Fahad Muzammil, Aditya Nair, and Shreyas Sridhar for their meaningful contributions to the event. Shout out to the school event photographers who have now been replaced by the screenshot feature. The investiture ceremony has for long been organized on campus by Mr. Vijay, and the practice sessions held for the ceremony under his watchful eye are something we miss greatly. I'd like to thank Mr. Vijay for all those memories they granted us, memories we tried to invoke today with recordings and music, and we pray and look forward to the coming years that may grant us the opportunity to walk those corridors again. I'd like to take this moment to thank the Council's staff advisor, Ms. Jayashree, for always being a source of encouragement and guidance, and for trusting in me and my workflow in discharging Council duties. Over the years, Ms. Jayashree has always kept in mind the vision and soul of the Student Council while mentoring the students responsible for upholding them, including me, and for this, I thank you, ma'am. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank another group of individuals, the Housemasters, Mr. Joy, Mr. Abdul Fattah, Ms. Hepzibah, and Mr. Gilbert, who've always stood beside our student leaders throughout the year, advising and guiding when necessary. My favorite part, my friends here at OOB, the captains I worked with, the office bearers, the concert team, the farewell team, the council members, the senior council member, they all feel like members of a family that always have each other's backs. I'm proud of the team Ayan, Sanjeev, and I made, a team beset with differences and yet one in which every individual pushed the others to be better. Of course, we have our similarities too. For example, Ayan and Sanjeev were part of the basketball team that went to India for nationals, and I know what a basketball looks like. I believe that the relationships I built here with my peers are the most important valuables I will leave the school with. That and my CBSE certificate. I'd like to thank all the parents and siblings for standing by us in the decisions that we make and for trusting that we will find our way in the end. In closing, when I was asked in my interview what I thought set us apart as an institution, I answered that it was the relationships I'd built with my teachers, with my supervisors, with members of the senior leadership team. Relationships that seemed to transcend the traditional student-teacher exchange. 2 years down the line, it's no surprise that I feel every bit as grateful now as I did then. And I can tell you with confidence that every such entity in this institution wishes the very best for us. And I, for one, am extremely grateful to be part of a school that I am proud to belong to for these reasons. If you ask me, I think this is one of the greatest achievements of this institution. The fact that we carry the adjective proud before the word Oobites. We are proud Oobites, and I think we'll always remain to be so. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Fazeen.
May I now request the audience to rise for the school song. We have completed yet another chapter in OOB's legacy of being a student-led school. Due to our current state of quarantine, real-time interaction may not have been possible. But as with the tenacity of our students, we have planned and conducted this event to great success through sheer hard work and determination with the aid of modern technology. In keeping with the OOB tradition, we will now have Ayan Kazi, the head boy, to deliver the retreat command.
Prefectorial board, by the left, forward march!